Everybody. I hope everyone is doing well today. All of these things in this video are alleged and from my opinions only. I am here because I was over on the TikTok and Alex popped up and he is telling about the situation, with Phaedra and Angela and Marcus and how that whole situation came about. Now, I've been watching the show, but I haven't really been reviewing the show. Me personally, I know Phaedra has a history. Well, I can't even say she really has a history. We know what she did with the Candy situation. We all know what she did. And she just came back to Rhoa this season, at the end of the season, literally. So me personally, I personally didn't think that she did this situation because in my mind it didn't make sense for her to do it. But people do stuff all the time that don't make sense for them to do, but they do it. I just didn't feel like she did it. So while I was scrolling the tick of the talk, he confirmed, or according to him, this is what he's saying. I'm going to show it. So we're gonna see how this goes. So let me see if I can share my screen so I can show you all what Alex has said. He has 3 videos that he's posted over on TikTok. Trying to get it. This is the first one.
Since people keep asking me what really happened, here is what happened from my point of view. This is not to vindicate anybody. This is not to indicate that anybody did anything in particular for any malicious reasons or gain. This is just what happened specifically from my point of view. So as you guys know, I was working at this restaurant and Marcus is my boss. I started working at the restaurant early May, and about 3 weeks into May, I get to work one day. It's a normal day, and there's all of a sudden all of this commotion from all the guys in the kitchen about the fact that there's some retired NBA legend that is dining there. I don't follow the NBA, don't really care about the NBA, and with this man being retired, that's clearly before my time. Don't know who he is. This man and this very attractive, much younger woman sit down. They sit on the same side of the booth. They, share off of each other's plates. They're very engaged in one another's company. They've shared out of the same drinking cup. So it's like, it was just giving date night energy. However, they eat, they pay, they leave. Boom. That's it. Fast forward 4 months later, and Marcus asked me if I want to go to an event. He goes, hey, this is going to be this event. It's for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's going to be filmed. You've got an RSVP, so send me your email. I send my email, and boom, I get this. I get the response. I'm invited. You've been selected, whatever you want to call it. I'm there. So, again, we're now in August, and we are at this Williams-Sonoma event. I'm just here to get a little chicken and waffle, drink this mimosa, and watch the housewives kind of go back and forth. Of course, I was excited. I'm a fan of the show. Who doesn't love the Real Housewives? So, I was excited to go. So, I'm in the background. I'm eating my chicken and waffle. I'm watching them. It was kind of boring. I'm just, I'm there. I'm there enjoying the event. As we're there, I'm not familiar with the newbies. So Marcus is like, oh, obviously this one's Kelly because it's her event. And then he brings out Angela and Charles. He's like, that one at the end is Angela. And as he's sitting here telling me about her, he's trying to jog my memory about 4 months prior when we were in the restaurant and the NBA legend had came in. And it's like, I'm like, oh, okay. But again, since I don't follow basketball, it doesn't really dawn on me like, oh, that's the same guy. And then Marcus kind of pieces it together for me. So boom, I go to the bathroom. This is still at the event. I go use the restroom. And when I'm coming back from the restroom, as I walk back into Williams-Sonoma, Marcus is up to Angela talking to her, which is what you guys see on the show when he is telling her your husband's been into the restaurant with a different woman. So, of course, I'm still standing in the background. He walks back over and I'm like, what was that all about? And then he proceeds to tell me, the whole, oh, I just went and told her about her husband. And I'm like, I beg your pardon? He was like, yeah, I did, but I don't know if she really heard it or received it. So he was like, I need to make sure she knows what I'm talking about. And I'm like, Marcus, what? That's when this moment happens where he makes the cheers. As you can see, I am visibly gagged, mouth open, shocked, and gagged like the rest of the guests because I'm sorry, what? Did not know that was about to happen. I was completely caught off guard like everybody else, like just gagged. So after the whole stunt, Marcus is thrown out of the event. I continued to shop. I bought some of her products. I took a photo and I enjoyed the evening. It was over, so I thought. And I leave. So now it's the next day after the event, and I am at the restaurant working, and Marcus is there as well. I'm standing in front of the restaurant and I'm at the host stand. It's a slow day at the moment, and the phone rings. The hostess answers the phone. Thank you for calling. How can I help you? And she then looks over and she goes, hey, Marcus, there's a woman by the name of Drew Sidora on the phone, and she would like to speak to you. So, of course, me and Marcus like lock eyes from across the restaurant. Here I am, visibly gagged again because why is Drew calling? What does Drew want? What's about to happen now? So Marcus gets on the phone with Drew, and basically Drew is just like, how are you going to come to my event? How are you going to come to this event and drop all that piping hot tea without getting my number afterwards so I can get the behind the scenes details? So Marcus and Drew exchange numbers. They have a whole back and forth for a couple of days. Or maybe for a day or so. But essentially, Drew just invites Marcus to go and have coffee with her. So after Marcus gets the invite to go have coffee with Drew, he was like, well, you have to come with me because I need you to be my receipt. I need you to tell people what you saw since you were there that day as well. So now at this point, we have also had a producer reach out in an attempt to get security camera footage from the restaurant of our good old friend Charles and the woman that he was with. So at this point, I'm starting to feel bad because it's like I didn't come to this person's event to do any of this. So I go and I look up Angela Oakley and I DM her after the event to try to kind of warn her on what I feel like is production trying to set up Angela and her marriage. As you can see here, I felt bad. I didn't even want to be in any of this. So I reached out to be like, hey, this is what I think is happening. In the exchange of our back and forth, it pretty much ended with, I feel like her thinking that I was trying to just get a moment. And I'm like, girl, no, I'm not trying to get a moment. I'm trying to help you. I've already got my own moment elsewhere. This is not for me. This is for you. I'm just trying to warn you because I think they're trying to set you up in your moment. However, the day comes, I go to the coffee shop to sit down, and lo and behold, Angela is there. And the first thing I say, and of course you guys don't see the scene, but the first thing I say is, actually, I'm glad Angela is here because I thought Drew was being messy trying to get to your marriage. And I said, and first of all, I'm not even here to say that your man is cheating. However, this is just simply what happened the day that he was in the restaurant. And I shared the same details with her. The optics of the situation just didn't look good if he is indeed married to, somebody else. That's all there was to it. I was not being messy. I won't try to be messy. Again, I'm not trying to be on TV. I'm already on TV. So it's not like I was trying to get on a TV show. So it was just, that was just it. Since people keep asking me what really happened, here is what happened from my point of view. This is not to vindicate anybody.
Okay, that is the first video. He actually has 3. He says it's gonna be 4. Let me pull up the second video. Shared that one.
We're sitting in the restaurant. It's me, Drew, Angela, and Marcus. And I had just expressed to Angela what I saw at the restaurant. If you missed any of that, go back and watch part one. As I was expressing to her, hey, this is what happened, she then kind of takes control of the conversation and gets a little bit more aggressive. And understandably so, because I, as a married person, you're not going to step to me about my partner, and I don't know you, and you're trying to tell me something about my partner. And that is why because that's how I would feel about it, that's why I reached out to Angela the night before via DM. You can see part one for that. So I sent Angela the DM, just letting her know, kind of like, hey, I think they're coming at you, because I did. I thought production was coming at Angela. She's basically like, look, I looked up both of you, and unless y'all start talking right now and y'all tell me who sent y'all, I'm going to start talking about what I know on both of y'all. So I'm like, girl, what is she talking about? There ain't nothing out there on me. If there was anything out there on me, I think people would already know it. So she kind of turns her attention more so to Marcus. And that's when she just, again, doubles down on this. I know somebody sent you. I know somebody sent you. And I know both of you have a connection to Athens, Georgia. And I'm like, I really don't. My mother-in-law lives there, but I don't really have a connection to Athens, Georgia. So then Marcus was like, okay. And and I will tell you, he didn't want to say a name. Marcus was not trying to say a name. Marcus was visibly, I feel like, as uncomfortable as I was. So then this is what you see on the show, where Angela's like, well, here, you can write it in, just here's my phone, write the name down in my phone. And he proceeds to type out a name, hands the phone to Angela. Angela reads it, hands it to Drew. Drew reads it. Nobody hands the phone to me. So I'm in the dark on who sent us. Because as I told you, I was just invited by my boss / friend Marcus to be like, hey, come to this Housewives filming event with me. I came with no agenda. I had no clue that anything was going to happen, let alone all of this was going to happen. So they are shocked. They thank him for his services. And then the tone of the conversation changes dramatically. Nobody ever says a name. However, the tone of the conversation changes dramatically. And it goes from Angela being mean to Angela being very nice. And then Angela and Marcus are just having this whole kind of key back and forth, almost as if they've known each other for a while. So much so to the point where a producer steps in and was like, okay, wait a minute. Stop. What just happened here? Because it was just kind of weird. Like, what just happened here? So all of a sudden, Angela's like, now you have to get me dirt that shows that she sent you guys. And I was like, still confused because I don't know who she is and nobody's ever used her name. But it, turns out to be Phaedra is what they're saying. So I'm like, they're like, you have to figure out, you have to come up with a way to prove that Phaedra sent you here. So I'm like, wait, what? What is going on? How did this happen? I'm confused. And it's just like, I just keep getting thrust into these like situations. And it's like, I really felt like the like B character on like a show. And the main character just keeps thrusting us into these wild scenarios. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, I'm gobsmacked. Literally, I'm gagged every step of the way, you guys. So we get up, we leave from the table after agreeing to get proof to show that Phaedra allegedly set all this up. And we're off camera, but we're in the coffee shop. And, I asked Marcus, I'm like, Marcus, and this is a hot mic moment. So Phaedra, you need to ask production for this. I said, why did you sit there and lie to that woman? We don't know Phaedra. Like, what are you talking about? How did we get here? Like, there's a whole moment. And he's like, shh, we're still mic'd. So boom, that's that. Forward, a couple hours later, we are out of the scene. We're out of the, restaurant. And it's like still sitting with me. I'm like, this is just not sitting well with me. So then I start texting Marcus. So this is the conversation between me and Marcus. And if you start here, I ask him, Marcus, why did you switch up? You know her husband was in the restaurant. And then he goes, she definitely wanted to be Phaedra, so I didn't know what else to say. Well, after that meeting, I'm convinced Angela knows about Charles. He already had a terrible image from being banned at Madison Square Gardens and the MGM. She knows what she's dealing with, and I felt like she wanted to pin it on Phaedra, and that's not right. So as you see, this is August 13th at 2:31 p.m. So then, once I realized that Marcus was actually going so far as to scheme along with Angela and actually say that Phaedra did this, I then, same day, again, August 13th at 11 p.m., I DM Phaedra Parks. Oh, can you not see that it's her account? Well, this is you can see the better screenshots on Twitter, everywhere I posted them. But anyways, this is my DM to Phaedra, where I specifically tell Phaedra, hey, I was at Kelly's event when the cheating rumor about Angela's husband was outed by my friend. A lot has happened since then, and I think they're trying to make it out to be you put us up to it. I'd love to have a conversation off camera about what happened today. So again, off camera. So as you see in the screenshot, Phaedra never reaches back out to me. So then I actually get in touch with a old RHOA producer who I talk to. I share all of this with. I'm like, hey, can you get me in touch with Phaedra? And I mean, his name was Luke. He was apparently like her old producer on the show a couple seasons ago. So I reach out to him. So again, I mean, I'm really trying to like warn Phaedra, hey, I think they're trying to set you up because again, I don't want to be a part of them like lying on somebody, trying to take somebody down or anything like that, because that's not cool. I didn't think it was cool when I thought they were trying to do this to Angela's marriage, the reason why I DM'd her, and I didn't think that it was right when they were trying to do this to Phaedra, the reason why I DM'd her. So now I'm just at this weird like impasse trying to figure out how can I get in touch with Phaedra Parks? Figuring out how the hell I ended up in all of this, trying to like maintain my friendship and keep my job. So it's just a lot at this point for me in the midst of all of this. Again, something that I did not ask to be like thrust into. So come back for part 3.
Okay, so now we have a part 3. I'm gonna go to part 3. That's a whole lot of. It's a mess because I don't know at this point. I don't know who's telling the truth and who isn't. Now, if like I said, I don't think Phaedra would do something like. Well, she got a tendency where she could do it. I don't put it past her, but I just don't think she would have came back immediately and started doing something like this because she literally just got there at the end of the season. So it don't make sense. It's just not adding up. But here's the third part to this. Let me share the third part. And evidently it's supposed to be another part. It's gonna be another part, but we don't know where that part is yet
All of the
because he
craziness has
hasn't
happened. We have sat down with Angela and Drew, trying to get more clarity. That turned into Angela just stating we have to pretty much say that this was Phaedra. I told you we leave the restaurant. Marcus is still, fine with doubling down, saying this is Phaedra. I'm not. I reach out to Phaedra with everything that I can think of. Like I DM'd her. Y'all can go and look at really, really, really old comments. I was commenting under all of Phaedra's old comments. Like, please check your DMs. Please check your DMs because I would have really felt bad had I not done everything that I could have done. And this played out like season 9 and Phaedra got fired for something that she did not do. So, it's been about a night or two since the coffee shop. We are leaving the restaurant, Marcus, myself, and a couple of other people, and we're in my car. as we are driving to go get a drink or somewhere. I don't know. We're just like going to get a drink after work or something. He keeps getting these text messages. Excuse me, not text messages. He keeps getting these phone calls from a private number. Then he starts getting text messages while we're in the car. He does not answer any of the phone calls. And then this is the phone call. The text message, can you call Phaedra? Marcus responds and asks, who is this? Then this weird message comes up because Angela was using some sort of burner phone or something. So then we got this really weird message. And then she's like, I want to protect you, which you have already heard her say in those released audio clips, which we're going to jump into later. And then again, thank you, but who is this? Can you talk? I came in about 30 minutes, had a family emergency I'm finishing up with. Is this Angela? Can you talk? I'm still with my family trying to finish up. I'm sorry, I'm just weary about who is texting me. This is Angela. Okay, I will let you know as soon as I'm home. So we wait about 10, 15 minutes, and then he calls Angela. You guys have heard the audio. The audio recording is a full 15-minute conversation between the two of them trying to scheme and figure out receipts to set up Phaedra. So you guys have heard some of what Marcus has posted, which is kind of a really grainy bad audio. That's because I've recorded that. When the situation was happening, we were in my car, and when they started really talking about scheming on Phaedra, I was like, I have to record this. So I'm trying to drive and secretly record this conversation that Marcus is having on his phone on speaker, so that way I could have a receipt. However, Angela clearly recorded the call too, because you guys have heard it from her point of view, which is way clearer. However, you've noticed neither have released the full 15-minute video, which would show both of them equally taking parts in scheming on Phaedra. Now, I'm going to double down on this because Angela absolutely held the charges that have come out about Marcus over his head. Angela absolutely was like, I will make sure that this gets out and everybody sees this if you don't help me. And you don't want that. None of you knew Marcus's full name to be able to go and look up and pull those charges. They didn't even say Marcus's full name. Marcus isn't even that big on social media for you guys to be able to find him. So all of his past and charges only came out because it was specifically leaked by Angela. So boom. I'm secretly recording their conversation. She's like, hey, I don't want to say, he's like, hey, I don't want to, no, excuse me. Marcus says, I don't want to say fake something, but we've got to come up with something. And she's like, yes, I agree. We need to come up with something to legitimize what we're going to say about Phaedra. So I take those clips and I'm like, I've got to find Phaedra still. So the next morning, as I'm getting ready for my other job, my day job, it dawns on me, my day job, I manage a luxury high-rise. I wouldn't call it luxury, actually. But one of my residents I've known for years because I leased an apartment to her mother a decade ago, and her mother is a popular blogger. So I reach out to her. I'm like, hey, you wouldn't happen to know Phaedra? She's like, yeah, let me see what I can do. I tell the blogger the whole quick skinny of it. She's like, let me see what I can do. Okay, cool. Boom. It's about an hour later. I'm in my car. I'm driving to work. My friend is calling me back, the one I reached out to. And I'm like, hey, Tammy, what's up? And she was like, hey, I got in touch with Phaedra. She's on the line. So then all of a sudden, I hear the most beautiful, angelic voice of a Southern belle. Hello. How you doing? And I was just like, well, I'm stressed, but better now that I've gotten in touch with you. So I am probably sounding like a crazy person to Phaedra, like, bitch, I know you don't know me. I am a fan, but I'm not a crazy fan, But all of this is happening, and I think they're trying to set you up again. So I'm literally on the phone with Phaedra for an hour trying to make any of this make sense to her. So she's like, well, just send me an email of what you have. Boom. So I'm going to show this really up close like this because I'm not trying to put out any of her information. But as you can see, the message is like, hey, Phaedra, I'm not tech savvy, blah, blah, blah. But this was me emailing Phaedra. This is, as you see, on August 15th at this point. And at this point, Phaedra, I have talked to her on the phone, and now she has responded. So I sent her the above email, and now she's like, thanks for sending. I'm driving, but we'll look ASAP. Woo! I finally got in touch with Phaedra, and like, I'm literally sitting in my car crying because I'm like, whew, let me vindicate this woman because I cannot have a single mama out here losing no job. Boom. So I send the stuff over to Phaedra. Me and Phaedra probably had two additional phone calls after that, kind of just like talking through everything. And then that next day, Friday, I was off of work for my day job. And it's like Friday morning, and Marcus is like, oh my gosh, have you seen the info and everything about this black tie gala that Angela and Charles are having? He was like, I think they're going to confront Phaedra tonight, this, that, and the third. And me and him are just kind of having a back and forth about it. By midday, he gets this text from Drew Sidora stating that Angela would like me to invite you to this tonight. Hope you can make it out. And of course, you see where he's like, I'll be there. Hopefully you guys have my back, which you saw they did because they were a part of all of this. So, meantime, in between time, after Phaedra had received the receipts, and I think she had pieced together that this was happening, Phaedra then has our mutual friend reach back out to me, and she was like, I'm going to buy you a ticket and invite you to the gala so you can speak your truth. Boom! That's how I end up at the gala. So it's the finale night. We are dressed to the nines. I'm there. So you see, I'm on the red carpet. I've got my Getty images. It's because, again, I was an invited guest who had a ticket, and I was asked to be a part of the red carpet because I was recognized from my other television show endeavors that I had. Because, again, I was not trying to be in the midst of all of this craziness. And it's night of the gala, Friday, August 16th. And I have been invited by Phaedra Parks, and now we're ready to fly. But I guess I'm running out of time, so I guess there's gonna have to be a part 4, so you guys can now find out what happened at the gala that they did not show on RHOA. Okay, guys, so here we go for part 3.